My name is Adam, and in 2002, at 24 years old, I was hired as a summer forest ranger for Ironbark State Park. It was supposed to be a tranquil experience, a connection with nature, an escape from the busy city routine. They assigned me to Tower 11. That's where I was headed in my trailer, texting my sister Kayla. She, always thoughtful, suggested I stop for a bite at a diner in the small town of Roseburg, the last stop before the forest. And that's exactly what I did when I arrived. There, amidst the smell of coffee and frying grease, Barbara, the waitress with her graying hair and shrewd eyes, and a few other locals started chatting. It didn't take long for the conversation to turn to the park. They told stories about several mysterious disappearances, people who simply vanished inside the park without a trace. I was advised to be very careful, and it was there, between a sip of lukewarm coffee and the creak of an old door, that the paranoia began to set in, a seed planted in my chest. I left for Ironbark immediately after. Daylight was dying. I arrived at the park at 8:02 p.m. Darkness had already swallowed the trees, and the forest seemed denser, more alive than I expected. I met Billy, the park ranger responsible for greeting me. He was a big man with a scraggly beard and a distant look in his eyes. When he saw me, he seemed surprised, almost startled. You're one of them? Back so soon?" I explained that I'd been hired to work at the park, that I was the new summer ranger. His eyes widened slightly, and he handed me the keys to Tower 11. Before he left, he leaned in, his voice almost a whisper. "Don't go too far north, kid. No matter what you hear, don't." I arrived at my tower at 11:32 p.m., a tall, solitary structure surrounded by trees that stretched like fingers into the night sky. As soon as I entered, the air was cold and thick. I accessed the computer and started watching an employee training video. The smiling face of a man explained the routine, but my eyes kept drifting to the dark windows. Next, I plugged in a USB drive for another video, but I was interrupted. The radio on my desk crackled loudly, cutting through the silence. Connor Hawkins, Tower 12 here. Welcome to Purgatory, pal." It was Connor, the ranger from Tower 12. "You'll want to get that fireplace going, rookie. Gets chilly up here at night. Keep you warm." At 3:26 a.m., I woke up. My eyes barely open. I noticed the radio was still on, its red light softly blinking in the dark. My bladder threatened to burst. I wouldn't make it to the portable toilet downstairs in time. I called Connor on the radio, more by instinct than by necessity. "Connor, you there? I need to." I ended up urinating over the tower railing, a warm, humiliating cascade into the cold night. After relieving myself, the relief brought a sudden curiosity. I grabbed the binoculars. I swept them across the dark forest. And I saw it. And I saw it. Someone patrolling near Tower 11, a slender figure moving between the trees. That image scared me, but I was so tired, too exhausted to process it. The adrenaline wasn't enough. I just went back to sleep. I turned off the radio and forced my eyes shut. Night of the second day, May 13th, 2002. I was outside my observation post, the cool evening breeze caressing me. I savored a freshly brewed coffee, hot and bitter, and enjoyed the view. The forest stretched endlessly under a sky tinged with orange and purple. I took a few photos with my digital camera, trying to capture that fleeting peace. Then, I went back inside the tower, feeling a shiver. The radio blared. "Connor? Smoke, illegal campfire smoke, north of Tower 11. Adam, you're the closest. Go there and put out the fire." I grumbled,
but started heading that way, flashlight in hand, sweeping the beam of light through the trees that seemed to close in around me. The darkness was almost total, and Billy's warning echoed in my mind. Don't go too far north. I was going north. But as I headed there, a sound cut through the night, sharp, desperate, the terrifying scream of an adult man. My blood ran cold. I stopped. The silence that followed was even worse. I continued, each step tentative, the flashlight trembling in my hands. Upon reaching the location, the light revealed the scene. A tent, torn, abandoned, along with several other items. A portable radio, a machete, a portable grill, a gas can, a flashlight, camping gear. But no one. I called out, "Hello? Is anyone there?" My voice echoed in the forest, hoarse, small. No answer, just the dense silence of the forest. And my paranoia began to mount. The seed Barbara had planted was now blossoming into panic. Upon returning to my tower at 9:07 p.m., my heart was still pounding uncontrollably. I was unable to calm my mind. I reported the abandoned campsite and the scream to Connor. "Probably a fox, rookie. They make weird noises." "No, Connor, it was a man's scream." A pause on the radio. "Well, there are rumors of a possible creature or creatures in the forest, along with the disappearances floating around. But they're just rumors. They're not real. Sleep tight, Adam." He tried to reassure me, but the hesitation in his voice was undeniable. I completed my tasks mechanically. I received a photo from my sister, which contained a casserole recipe. I made the casserole, ate half of it without truly tasting it, lit the wood-burning stove, closed the window boards, locked everything down. But the feeling of being safe was gone, and I went to bed. But sleep didn't come easily. I woke up abruptly at 2:27 a.m., my entire body on alert, my eyes fixed. A shadow, visible on the opposite wall, large, distorted. And there it was, someone, through the window, outside. I sprang up, ran to the window, looked outside. The figure moved, out of my sight, as if it knew I was there. I took a deep breath, trying to calm my racing heart.
I opened the tower door, slowly, a creak that echoed in the pre-dawn silence. On the floor, right at the entrance, an animal skull, small but unmistakable, and beside it, some candles, lit with strange, sinister symbols. I called Connor on the radio. He was displeased at being woken up. Connor, irritated, impatient. I called Connor on the radio. He was displeased at being woken up. "Adam, what is it now? I was sleeping." "There's a skull, Connor, and candles with strange symbols at my door."
That? Must just be kids. Pranks. Relax, rookie. Go back to sleep." "Kids," he said. With a feeling of sickness that churned my stomach, I locked the door, the key trembling in my hand. I went to bed cautiously, but sleep was impossible. Waking up the next day, the sunlight seemed dim. I couldn't tell if the night before had been a dream or not. The memory of the skull, the candles, the shadow, it was too vivid, and I suspected that something more sinister was slowly unfolding, day by day. As I watched the forest, an orange glow cut through the dark sky. A flare fired into the forest sky. Instantly, I returned to my radio. I connected. It was a lost hiker. "Please, help! I'm lost! Someone's after me!" I visualized the park map. I tried to direct the hiker to his vehicle, to safety. "Oh, thank God." His voice came with a sigh of relief. "I hear whistling, and I see someone behind some nearby trees. You found me. Is that you?" "No, that's not me," I denied it, my blood running cold. Before the hiker could answer, a dry, loud thud at my door. The radio connection was cut. I opened the door. It was Billy. He had come up to my tower to drop off supplies. "Took you long enough, kid," he mumbled. I reheated the casserole from the night before, ate, completed my remaining tasks. That relief of being with another person. Then I went down to get more firewood, but my return was interrupted. A man was there, near my tower. He introduced himself as Silas, claimed to be doing routine maintenance on the nearby radio tower. But there was something in his tone of voice, strange vocabulary. "Curiosity," he said, his eyes fixed on mine, "can lead you to places you'd rather not go." He left soon after, disappearing into the darkness. I stood there, motionless, his words echoing in my head. After I got back to my tower, the radio crackled again. "Connor, what took you so long? Thought something had happened." I told him about Silas. "Silas? Who's Silas? He's not park staff. And that radio tower he claimed to be working on has been out of service for years, completely out of service." What he said chilled me. An unknown figure, a dark warning, an inoperable tower. I went to bed, but sleep once again felt like a betrayal.
2 nights later, at 9:18 p.m., a fierce thunderstorm battered the forest. Lightning tore through the sky, and the wind howled like a hungry wolf. Connor told me the computers received a system update. I updated the computer. The process was slow, agonizing, and it finished just in time before the power went out. I rushed to start the generator. The yellow light of the lamps flickered back on. I used the portable toilet outside, the chemical smell invading my nostrils, and went back inside the tower, feeling the heavy air. 7 days dragged on after that. 7 days of isolation, of whispers from the forest, of disturbing dreams. May 13, 2002. A week later, I was woken up during the night by Connor again. Connor, agitated, urgent voice with more intense static. "Smoke, more campfire smoke, need you to investigate." Cautious voice, observing, sounds of binoculars being adjusted. Then a shocked gasp. I zoomed in on the image using the binoculars, my eyes fixed on the smudge of smoke in the darkness. And then I saw it. It wasn't a normal campfire. They were cult members, around a blazing altar, hooded figures moving in sinister rituals. I took a picture for evidence, but the flash of my camera, it alerted them. The gasp caught in my throat. I saw it. One of the cult members, tall, fast, running quickly towards my tower. I rushed inside. I threw myself under the bed, my heart hammering, trying to make myself disappear. He entered the tower. I heard his heavy footsteps, the door creaking. He was looking for me. I waited. Every second was an eternity. After the cult member left, I crawled out, rushed down the tower stairs, stumbling over my own feet. But I was spotted again and chased by the cultist. I ran to the portable toilet in the middle of nowhere. The smell of chemicals invaded my nostrils. I locked myself inside, trembling, listening to his footsteps outside. I waited for hours until the cult member left. Then I ran desperately to the park entrance. I got out of the park. The city lights seemed like a distant paradise. Safety, freedom. I looked back, and I saw him, the cultist, still chasing me, running swiftly, tireless. I managed to reach my trailer just in time to speed off towards the nearest ranger's cabin. I spent the rest of the night there, trembling, but alive. I reported the incident to headquarters. I recounted every detail: the scream, the campsite, the skull, Silas, the cult. However, my manager, Mitch Scott, a practical and skeptical man, dismissed my feelings. He attributed everything to my loneliness, to exhaustion. Mitch Scott, skeptical voice with a tone of dismissal. Adam, you've been out there alone for a while. Loneliness plays tricks on the mind. Narrator, cold voice marked by injustice. A sound of police search, but without results. The authorities conducted an investigation in the area the next morning, but they claimed to have found no signs of wrongdoing. No campfire, no trace of the cult, no tent, nothing. Despite having photographic evidence, a blurry photo, yes, but with the hooded figures in the fire, and telling my family about the incident, no one believed the cult was real. They dismissed my story. They thought it was stress, fatigue, loneliness. Narrator, final voice with a sense of loss and a solemn warning. There might be a subtle cold wind blowing in a forest, ending with silence. In the end, I swore never to set foot in Ironborg State Park again. And I warn you, to anyone planning to camp there, be careful. Because what I saw, what I heard, that wasn't just a dream. And the forest, it holds secrets far, far darker than any legend could tell. And sometimes, it wants you to stay forever.